Welcome back, guys.
Hey, y'all.
Well, I guess we should say we're kind of welcome ourselves back. Well, we're
Pretty
back.
much.
Yeah, we're back at it after a break. As everybody know, 2020 was just a different year, to say the least.
I love how you said 2020 was a different year, as if the year is already over. We're still in 2020.
Shit, I think I'm hoping this all about to be over soon.
Poor things.
But I mean, 2020 honestly has been a long year. We've had a lot of things happen. I mean, honestly, for me, it was kind of funny. I was hanging out with my homie Ray earlier this week, and it kind of hit. He said like a really thing about it. Ever since Kobe died, 2020 has really gone crazy. Even though Corona was already here, you know, Kobe's death, rest in peace. He was very much one of my sports idols. But I really feel like things started changing after that. Kobe finally became public. I guess you say shortly after his death. After that, shortly after, you had George Floyd's death. You had Breonna Taylor, the Ahmaud Arbery. I really feel like that was the time where Black Lives Matter got its new wave of pushing things, and not only that, but people who weren't black, people who were on the opposite color spectrum, who really kind of realized things themselves too, and started opening their eyes.
Right.
You kind of say barely like never, which is a really true statement, but they're finally realizing it. There's a lot of crazy things in general. Megan Thee Stallion recently got shot. He had the entanglements, situation.
Like, just keep up. It's just
you got the Epstein situation with the children. Like, it just 2020 just been a crazy year. But we also want to put some positivity out about it right now. We're blessed to say that with us in our situation, nothing has really changed. We both got to keep our jobs. Our job situations are very much the same. But something I did kind of bring up while we're talking about kind of 2020 and just kind of learning about people's intentions. Like, with you, being in the business of cleaning supplies and what you do, something I kind of was interested in, like, what has kind of changed with you with the coronavirus?
Yeah, if anything, I think it's just more so exposed, like, kind of some people's how they really operate. Like, at the end of the day, people value, or what I've noticed, a common trend, because I'm not going to say everybody. I'm an optimist, so I'm going to believe better. But at the end of the day, I've noticed that a lot of people still value the dollar over their actual personnel.
Right.
So working with some of these businesses, unfortunately, it's just kind of been like exposing, because it's like, what were you doing before?
Yeah.
And then also, like, okay, so you're not willing to pay to get your customers and your employees what they really need, but it's just been very interesting. I just say I don't know. It's just interesting for real, because you just find out so much, and I can't say I'm like really surprised, because I feel like we live in a world where just literally the dollar usually is over everything else, which is why I think even Georgia opened up earlier, because they were worried about the business owners, which, like, your business can sometimes be your livelihood. Yeah. Like, your business can definitely be your livelihood, but I'm just like, it's not really your livelihood if you're not even alive to be here to run it or enjoy the fruits of that. So, I don't know. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me in a lot of ways. But
overall, just like you said, it's like, what were you doing before? So it really shows that, like, were you really, intentional on trying to protect your employees beforehand, and this outbreak opened your eyes to what you weren't doing, or you just weren't doing shit before, so now you're trying to play catch up.
Exactly.
I definitely think that also rose into, honestly, you're seeing all these companies now, making statements about Black Lives Matter and how they're against racism and things like that, and trying to tell them, let's educate each other. But overall, it's kind of sometimes hits me like, did you just realize you had black employees? Like, did you not realize your black employees were here all this time? So what was your energy towards them before? Like, what were your actions like that beforehand?
Exactly.
So it overall just makes me wonder, what people's intentions were and what they valued.
I think it's safe to say that 2020 has kind of made everybody literally take a step back.
Yeah, it's exposed a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I feel like, if anything, like, I've definitely taken a different perspective on some things. Have you?
I wouldn't say I really take a different perspective, because I know you all make fun of me being a pessimist anyway. I don't really believe people care about each other that much anyway. When it comes to businesses, I just always believe in we're in a capitalist society. You know, at the end of the day, it's about the almighty dollar.
Yeah.
So I always try to believe the best in people and think that they're doing the best. But ultimately, I believe people won't go with their pockets at the end of the day. Like, so it didn't really adjust my thinking. And they realized, oh, okay, so I wasn't just being, you know.
You were right.
Yeah.
He's trying to say I was right all along.
But sometimes it's like you don't want to be right. But one thing I am happy about saying is I'm happy that things are getting exposed, so things can start taking actions to get changed.
Like finally shedding light on stuff, and I feel like because I think like we just companies, individuals have just purposely tried to like put like just cover it up. Act like it doesn't matter, or I'm colorblind. That we value all of our employees. You don't even know who all of your employees are. Like, you know, like I think it's just literally taking the veil off so we can really see what we're working with and can actually make moves from here. So.
Nah, that's again I'm saying you put it right on that one. I mean that's just really true. Like just kind of exposing. It's like you're putting the light to it. You're putting the light to something that always was hidden in the darkness.
Yeah.
But you know, let's talk about some positives. You know, I definitely think also too during this time of quarantine. You know, I think it really made people kind of change their way they take entertainment. And what I mean by that is you have to spend some time with yourself. You know, when clubs aren't open, when bars aren't open like they used to, like you can't just kind of escape somewhere. Like I think it really made a lot of us have to take time with ourselves, learn ourselves. I mean, even with you, like you create like your own little special area in the house that you put together. Like I definitely think that the big thing about 2020 is there is going to be a new norm. Like you know, before like when we was sports, like sports was my thing. Like ESPN is finally showing some live sports that actually recently happened. Like it's no more, what's the best thing that happened last year in sports? Like it's no more like that. Like you know, MLB is coming back. You know, so getting to see that, some of the exhibition games with that. Basketball is back. You're getting to see the exhibition games for their bubble that's going on.
Right.
Like this new norm. Like I remember just sitting here thinking, like I could have been the Battery drinking right now, but now nope. Even the Battery was open. I don't know if I would go.
You would want to go. Yeah.
I don't know if I want to go because of that. So I mean, tell me, you know, what are some things you've been doing during this quarantine? Even though we live in the same house, and I know.
No. So for me, I've read a little bit more. I actually took the time to create this space in the house for myself. I think the thing that was so crazy about that for me is like we've had this dining room, right? And we literally, I think we may use it maybe once a year when we're trying to be fancy, like and have a little date night at the house or something. But other than that, we don't use the space, so it just felt like a waste. And also, I feel like you know, following traditional rules, like you kind of have to keep it. But it was like no. We're getting rid of it. Let's make it into something. Because Thaddeus kind of has his little man cave where he's got his games.
No, you took over my man cave. It hasn't been man cave.
It's currently, we're in a position where he doesn't have something that's like strictly just his.
That's a shared entertainment room.
It's a shared entertainment, but at the end of the day, I'm barely in there. Like, if anything, it's when we're like eating together or whatever. But my point being is like he literally has his little spot in the house where like he is, you know, living his best life, right? So I also, it wasn't because of that, but just I realized, hey, I kind of want a place outside of just our bedroom.
She was being a copycat. That's what that was.
So be it. I was being a copycat. But regardless, I just wanted a place where I could kind of, you know, just be me and enjoy and all that. So created the space in the house. I put some of those videos and stuff like on my Instagram, but just created the space for me. So it's really just a sitting area. I have my plants. I'm learning how to do those, like how to grow those and nurture them. And it's been a really interesting process. I've killed several, but you know, we're still working. So, you know, it's been fun, like to kind of just learn more about myself and just be.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just you. I think a couple of friends and, you know, coworkers I was speaking to, just people that we interact with in general. I think a lot of people have taken time during quarantine to kind of self-reflect, look within themselves, and just kind of better themselves. So quarantine hasn't been too bad. Sometimes to have some self-growth, you need to be still and kind of be with yourself and spend some genuine time with yourself. But that's all that for this episode, kind of just summarizing 2020 for us so far. I hope some prayers out for everybody that, you know, whose lives haven't changed during COVID. Anybody who's lost family due to it as well too. Our prayers are out to you. Other than that, you know, be blessed. Catch y'all next time.